that inlet, like Madeline was saying, is not for the faint of heart. We have this beautiful anchorage sunset here, and it's beautiful all except for this. The first couple hours of sailing every day is super stressful. That inlet, like Madeline was saying, is not for the faint of heart. You have tons of wakes. You're either fighting the current that's coming in, and you full throttle, you're only going 2 knots headed out, and then you're getting waked on top of it, or you have the tide going out, and then you're hitting the waves that are coming in from the ocean. You get the swells. So, but now that we're out here, oh, time for me to trim the sails a little bit, maybe. No, Madeline's got it. So, yeah, just pulled up the sails, clicking along pretty good. Water's getting more and more blue. I'm okay with that. Can't wait to test out when we get in clearer water to see if we can actually see our anchor set with that paint that we did back in the marina, the boatyard, right before we left. So that's going to be really cool to see if that idea works. And other than that, we're just kind of chilling, hanging out. It's going to be a full day today. Winds may die down this afternoon, so we probably will have to motor a little bit, motor sail, but we have a pretty good beam reach all day. It's only forecasted up to like 10, so we still should be pretty well off. We should still be able to keep up with at least our 4 knot minimum, which is what we base a lot of our time frames on when we're doing our routes and avionics. Is I set it to go 4 knots, and if we get there early, awesome. We know that 4 knots is a slow sailing day, and we're still going to be able to get there leaving at the time we left at by 5 p.m. and that's if it takes us 9 hours. It's supposed to only be an 8.5 hour sail at 4 knots. So if we actually do good and we pick up more speed, or we get tuned perfectly with the wind, and we cruise along like we were on the way here. We were clicking along at like 6.5, 7 knots most of the way, then we'll get there a little earlier. If we do, awesome. If we don't, no big deal. So we're still going to get there with plenty of light, so we don't have to worry about it. We're going to get there about 3 hours. At the latest, we're going to get there with still 3.5 hours of daylight to spare. So that's plenty of time to find a good spot and make sure our anchor is dug in nice and deep and we don't have to worry about it. And then we'll keep moving. This is perfect. Cruising along about 5.5 knots. Swells aren't too bad. They're far enough apart. They're low. We're practicing on our sail trimming and efficiency. So we've been kind of messing with the cars a little bit today. One of the things we've been doing is just getting out and just sailing. But we're just kind of like, okay, this will do for that, this will do for that. Now we're trying to actually get a little bit better. We really do not like getting to places after sunset. So we do kind of want to make some good time, but at the same time, we don't want to rush. and we want to practice. And if we're always going from point A to point B, or always worried about what we're doing next or where we're going to next, we're not being present in the moment and we're not learning anything. So we're practicing trimming, and we're practicing sail efficiency, and we're practicing all this and that. Hopefully we'll learn a few things that we can maybe pass along and help some people, but at this point we're still learning. So it seems like you're always learning something about your boat. Look at her back there looking all adorable. She's probably getting tired and hungry because it's about my time to start doing the shift. Oh, and it looks like the wind's changing, and it's time for me to do another sail adjustment, so I'm gonna get back to it. So here we are pulling into No Name. Got our bridle stuff all ready to go. Everything's ready to go. And then we have this beautiful anchorage sunset here. And it's beautiful all except for this. So we'll be replacing I'll be repairing the chain tomorrow. It's like, swear man, it's just one thing after another some days. It really wears you down.
Good morning from beautiful No Name Harbor. We are loving it here. And today, what are you doing, Patrick?
Well, obviously, as you saw, our steering cable snapped. So what I'm doing is we shopped around. We took all day yesterday doing our research and shopping around trying to find where we can get another cable. And the actual cable was like $280 or something like that, like ridiculous to get the actual cable. But I legit went to a store and got better cable than what it originally came with. It exact same everything, 3/16 cable, go brand, but this one is marine grade. These clips that were obviously not stainless steel on the old one, these ones I got are stainless steel. So I bought everything I need to buy in pieces so that I could make another cable for $35. So not $280 plus tax. So I'm gonna be sitting here, and then what I have to do is I have to attach it to the chain and then run it back down through the pedestal, back through the pulleys, and then back to the rudder control. And I'll put it around the drum and bolt it back in with everything that I took off the old one. So that's what I'm doing today in this beautiful place, because that's what you do when you're on a boat. You work on your boat, you go to exotic places and work on your boat. So that's what we're doing today.
Miami's not very exotic, but I guess if you call it Miami, then yeah,
it's pretty exotic. So that's what I'm doing today.
What are you thinking?
He's thinking he wants to take a nap. Scratching his face again.
Spa day for me. Doing my nails. They need help. So, yeah. Cool.
So just a quick little show you what I'm going to be doing here. This is the chain, and as you see, this zip ties will save your life. That way I don't have to dig this chain back out. But it goes on something like a bicycle sprocket, and as you see, when you pull it, it turns the wheel, it turns the helm, and as you turn the helm, it pulls on this chain back and forth, which is what hooks through right here, that cable I was just showing you. So that when I redo it and I make the cable, I just have to put it through here, run the cable all the way down through the pedestal, go underneath through the lazarette, pull it out of the bottom, run it through the pulley, and then into the back. And then I'll show you where it goes onto the drum back there, so that we'll be able to do that. They're still a little loose because I haven't adjusted them tight. I need to make sure everything's in place and everything's over the pulleys, because I don't know how many of you have ever done things with pulleys and trying to tighten things over pulleys, but if you tighten things up, you can't get it back over the pulley. So It's kind of like the equivalent of you taking your alternator belt, tightening your alternator up, and then trying to put the belt on. It's not gonna work. You have to put the belt on, then pull the alternator tight before you tighten it down. So that's what I'm doing back here in the back. I'll show you where it goes back in the back. So actually this is the rudder shaft here. Cables come around from up by those pulleys, back around to the back. They go in, have one for each side. This is for the port side, this is for the starboard side. And then they go through this slot back here. And then this nut, or this bolt, right here is what the other end of that cable is on. So now what I do is I adjust it by tightening down these. I don't want them too tight. I don't want them too tight, obviously, because it'll put too much stress on the actual cable and I don't want to prematurely wear it. So I'm gonna be adjusting that and tightening those nuts down, and then it has two nuts obviously because one is for locking. So we just tighten it down and then put the lock nut on, and then we're done. And we'll call it a day. And then you gotta love this. Not like this is a, like it's an anchorage. You have all of that area over there. You have all of that area back there. You have, God knows, the entire Atlantic Ocean over there. And you gotta come right between the boats in an anchorage. So, makes it a little difficult when you're trying to work because right now it rocks you around a little bit. So, so it rocks you, and when you're bent over underneath something and you can't see what's coming, like now I see it coming. So it's not that big of a deal. But if you're down below and you don't see that, and then all of a sudden you're starting to bang your head on stuff or you're dropping tools, it can be a little aggravating. So just something to get used to. I just keep an ear out. I listen. If I hear somebody coming close, I know, okay, I'm probably gonna get waked. So let me go down here and tighten this up and we should be good to go. And yeah, we're just gonna chill, relax, have a sundowner at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because right, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So let's get this done. All right, we're all done here. So now I just got to put everything back together. As you can see, when I turn the wheel, this is turning the way that it's supposed to. It's all adjusted, nice and snug, and got the proper tension on it. Now I just have to put all this back together, which I have to put the pedestal back together, our gear selector, throttle, and then eventually our compass. That'll be the last thing to go on. So I just have to tighten all these back down. It can be fun because all of these screws, there's like 4 plates that it has to go through, and then you have to get them all lined up so that the whole thing holds into place here when you shake it. So got all the screws in, started. Now I'm just gonna finish and put it all back together and we'll be done for the day. So I have no idea what time it is, but I'm sure it's probably getting pretty close to lunch. And yeah, so not too bad for a day's work. And then we're gonna go and check out the grocery store and marina to see if we can go ahead and get us some fuel. And we may stay for another day. We're checking the weather out. It looks kind of so we're not really sure if we want to head out today or if we hang out for an extra couple days. It's no big deal. We're not in a rush. So we're in a good spot. They got good holding, and not too many boats are too close to us, and we still have access to stuff, so not too bad.